I never thought I'd have something like this in my house. Now I have data to say this is where I need to practice from. This is where I need to improve. Start putting like that, I'm gonna start gaining shots on the field. This is really my favorite part of the house, and this green is on hydraulics, so I can go 4 degrees up, down, left to right, right to left. I have about just inside 20 feet where I can do my work. My coach can log in and he can do stuff and then send it to me, so I'm able to do my own practice schedule here. And he's able to break down and say, okay, this is where we're losing strokes. I don't always have time to go to the golf course. I don't have time with the weather. In a controlled environment, I can really work on my fundamentals. I can take the data, I can go and say, okay, this is really where I need to improve. There's sometimes out there's a lot of things you can't control. I'm trying to control myself. So this is a controlled environment that allows me to do that. We really dive into the stats, and over the last year, I have definitely seen results by using this putting green here in my house.
Now Gary Woodland for another birdie.
Has to be proud of that round. And that is your leader, Gary Woodland.
We have so many stats. We can see everything from every distance out there. So it's where can I gain the most shots? I think the 125 to number one, it's a shot around, right? That's one area where I've really drastically improved. You don't have to do much. So when we did this before, inside 8 feet was really where I struggled the most and I was losing the most shots. Now inside 8 feet, I've obviously done a lot of work. We put a lot of drills in. I've done a lot of work down here. This year, from 7 to 8 feet, it's my best stat that I've ever had in my career. In 2019 was one of my better years on the PGA Tour. I was 52%. In 2022, now I'm at 68%. So it'd been nice to go back a couple years ago and putt it like I am right now, but that's what you're talking about, taking the data, continuing to be more productive and doing it day in, day out. That's one area where I've really improved. Yeah, I think the big deal when you start getting to 10 feet, obviously more distance, the ball's starting to break more, right? So now it's making sure you're working on speed and start lines. The lines that come up on this green are pretty cool where I can see that. Helps me pick start lines, helps me work on speed, and that's what you're gonna need from 10 feet. Beauty about this thing right now is I can come in my basement, I can put a 10-foot putt down here. So this is on a flat slope. I can change it to left to right and right to left and see how far that ball's really breaking and start working on my speed. And then once I get outside, I have that visual and that idea in my head on how much this is breaking from 10 feet on a 2% slope or 3% or whatever I put in. But obviously I did that from inside 8 feet and it worked. Now it's time to move that back a little farther to 10 feet. So I can see how much break I really have to play. You can see I hit that underneath that line. That was a little push, that wouldn't start line. You know, the data showed in 2022, I was only making about 40% from this distance. So if I can come down here and practice and change the slopes a little bit, change to get more real time like I'm gonna see out on the golf course. Now I'm starting to gain shots on the field, not only one day, but all week. That's the difference between sometimes making a cut. That's the difference between finishing top 5 and winning. So this is a huge tool for me to be able to use to stay productive, to continue to improve. I think this 10 foot will be the big emphasis this off season to get me better for next year.
This from just outside 10 feet to get to 4 under par. There it is.
When I'm practicing at home, we'll take a 10-footer and I'm trying to make 5 out of 10, 50%. If I can make 50%, obviously I was at 40 this year. If I can make 5 out of 10 putts from 10 feet, I'm gaining shots on the field. We get to where I want to go. I never thought I'd have something like this in my house, but even when I go outside and go practice at the golf course, I can take this data with me, and now my practice is a lot more structured, it's a lot more productive, and having this putting green in my house really gives me the tools I need to succeed.
Doing what he needs to do to advance.